Well, hey there everybody, welcome back into my little dungeon garden here in the basement. It's Friday. Normally we would be doing an update on how everything is doing on Sunday, so don't worry. I'm only going to show you a little bit. If you're wondering why there's going to be a lot more videos coming out in the next month or 2 months or 3 months, blame Rev. Y'all know RevtosTV. If not, you should go sub. He's a wonderful instigator of things like 30-30 challenges. And it doesn't matter how many times I fail at these things, he still keeps inviting / challenging me to try again. So I appreciate your faith there, Rev, and on that, I'll try. You know, I'm not making any promises. I have yet to pull off one of these 30 and 30 things. 42 is a better number for me anyway, but I mean that's even harder than 32, isn't it? So I thought today, being Friday, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna try and do 30 videos over the next 30 days. Anyway, I thought today being Friday, I would show you what I'm doing farting around here in the dungeon, besides killing aphids, of course. But yeah, so as many of you know, I have started my 2018 peppers already. I've only got about 6 months or so until the snow melts enough that I can put them outside. So for somebody like me without the best, we'll call them natural gardening skills, I really do need that jump start. It seems a little excessive, but when you bear in mind I've only got like 3.5 months of actual solid outdoor weather, it makes sense. These plants all need to be ready to produce fruit as soon as it's warm enough for them to survive outside. So, yes, let's get started on what I've got started for 2018. Oh, what a wonderfully chaotic little table, isn't it? So down here, I've got quite a few different things working as little humidomes. I mean, here I've got some little mason jars. I've got some little fruit jars here. I got a couple of Malibu cups that we either got with some Malibu or we were given when we got here. I don't know. Down here, I've got the loaf pan thing. Like I am doing my best to try basically every opportunity that I can come up with. One of the things that I have been dealing with this year is, well, I've got a shortage of these little humidome tops, because when you're planting, you know, like 20, 30, 50, hopefully hundreds of pepper plants, it's going to be hard to come up with hundreds of little domes. Maybe. Now, my family goes through an awful lot of bottled water. It's not that the water in town is bad, but when the pipes froze, basically everybody in town just kind of decided the best thing to do until those lines get flushed out again, the safest thing to do is to drink bottled water. So the end result of that is, like I say, we've got tons of water bottles kicking around. So what I did, because I am short on humidomes, is I cut one roughly in half. Actually, that was closer to half than I thought. And then I did slice up the side, and now I've got little planters. This is so much easier with 2 hands. With little domes. Now, it's not perfect. You know, I've got a little bit of an air gap here on the side, but I think this might actually turn out to be a good thing, because it's letting some of the drier air from the dungeon into the plant, and it's not quite as pampered as, say, things in the mason jars or the salsa jars or these big old Malibu cups. A couple other options. I've got these clear cups that I drilled all the holes into last year, so I'll be able to use those to kind of let some airflow through as I'm, I don't know, it's almost like hardening them off, but it's not, because they're nowhere near ready to go outside yet. But I don't know, getting them more accustomed to the temperature and the humidity. The temperature down here is currently reading at 66.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't know how well you can read that. I can barely read that. Time to clean it off. And if we check upstairs on the remote sensor part of all this, it'll tell you the humidity in my dungeon is less than 30% right now. So yeah, these little domes are absolutely necessary, or else my peppers wilt really fast. I think I already showed you what happened to the one leaf here on the paper lantern pepper. Now that paper lantern pepper is a very interesting thing, and I think maybe to fill up some of these 30 and 30s, we're going to do a little research on some of the specific varieties of peppers that I've got. And, you know, we'll just learn a little bit more about them in general, because what's the point in having a crop or a plant you're madly in love with and seem to be obsessed with You don't really know that much about them. This is one of the matchbox peppers. This is by far the sexiest looking seedling I have going. That is going to be a big, beautiful plant, I hope. Here's another one of the matchbox peppers. And again, that is a nice looking start. I am really very pleased about that. And then I guess the next nicest looking start would probably be this one here, which I'm hoping is a super chili, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh look, for those of you who are interested in what a JT vlog would be, I killed some aphids today. Killed some more. Seems a little like genocide, but I think in this case it's probably okay. Other gardeners would probably agree with me at least. So, yeah. Death to the sapsuckers! Anyway, this particular super chili is looking really nice. I'm very pleased with how well it's doing. And super chilies are a really nice productive plant. They're not stupidly hot like some of the things that I have seeds for, but they are hot enough to catch your attention, which is about the level of heat that I can sell here in town. Anything, you know, hotter than a habanero, most people are a little leery of. There are a couple guys in town, and I'm just going to throw out a big shout out to the elevator boys. I don't even know if you watch my videos, but those boys at the elevator would eat fire. They're crazy, and I love them because they have become my guinea pigs for so many different sauces, candies, spices, salts, flavors, and they don't mind. In fact, they've even offered to pay, but you know, since they're guinea pigs, I'm not sure that they should be paying me. Anywho, I've got some more plants here that I wanted to transplant out today, and I figured for the sake of the 30-30 I'd bring you guys along while I cut up some water bottles. Used the last of my soil here. It looks like I'm going to need to go get some more of that soon. I planted out an ahi calabazo already, or calabaza. Where did that go? I think that's over here. Just this little guy, way in the back here. Just getting some heat from the bottom and moistening up that soil a little bit. I don't know, as gardeners, are we allowed to say moist? I guess that word is losing favor these days, but I need my soil moist, and I'm sorry if that offends you. Actually, I'm not. Anyway, let's look here. What I'm looking for today are either peppers that are getting just plain too tall to be under this shallow little greenhouse dome, because I mean there's a lot of these guys that are touching the ceiling, you know, and I don't like doing that to my plants. They seem to be just fine with it. I'm the one who has a problem, so you know, accept you have a problem, do something about it. That's what we're doing today, is we're going to do something about it. These little water bottle humidomes should give my plants lots of room to reach up, and you know, worst case scenario, I can pop the tops off, I can open up the lids. It might actually be a really good idea. There's really only one way to know. So, I'm going to get working on that. Basically just going to scoop this and get some base soil in there. I'll start soaking that right away because this stuff is just ridiculously dry because of the lack of humidity down here. So it's always a bit of a guessing game when I'm getting the soil ready to transplant into it. I think that might be part of why things wilt so much on me too. So, yay for humidomes, water bottles, and having a bit of a plant. Now the next thing I need to do is what's going to be, who's our lucky contender here? Should we just start with, let's start with the ahi pineapple. We'll put that taller one in there at least. Still haven't tried one of these. Really excited to do that. So I guess that'll be our first volunteer / victim. Depends on how this works out. A little painter's tape around the base of that to help block a little bit of the light, and with any luck it'll stick to itself. This tape has not been sticking for beans for me. And what I've got here with my, this is actually a candy eyedropper. I don't use it for my candy though. What I've got here in the jar though is just some of the water from the hydroponic system. I don't know what's in it, but I'm using it to basically just kind of get everything ready, because I've got to use it up, right? So it's probably not going to go well for the things that are currently in the hydroponic garden, but they've got massive change coming in the future anyway, as we've already discussed. Now, took the top of the bottle, I sliced it all the way to the lid, Give it a little bit of a squeeze so it fits inside itself. And basically, bam, that's pretty much done. Now I'm going to take my hands here and push the plastic out a little bit so it fits just a bit better there, and we'll get back to it. Alright, in theory, now that's all wrapped up and ready to go. This one's been in its water bottle for a couple of days, so I feel fairly confident that this weird little idea is going to work in its own super special way. And it looks like I can get quite a few of them onto my little warming tray. Oh, speaking of the warming tray, I was going to give up on the cress, but look at that. Come on, focus so they can look, camera. Look at that. We got a little tiny cress seedling popping up and a bunch of freakish little bugs in there. So I'm just kind of letting this air out and dry out a little bit. And then I'll water it back up, and we'll see how she goes from there. And then we can put this lonely little ahi pineapple back in there. I have, I've rescued a few of these mini solo cups. It's almost time to start another round of seeds, which I was going to start in here, much like I've got the last of the other seeds in there, but the cress sprouted up on me, so I'm going to have to find another container. I don't have an actual lid for this one, or it would be a solid bet, wouldn't it? So, I don't know. Hopefully I can get some more started though before I transplant all of these. But if not, well, I guess it's time to transplant more of these. So what shall we pick next? Actually, while we're looking, this is a really good example of what happens as they sit out in the drier air. My leaves all curl up and stuff, and they're very, very brittle, very soft. I'm going to need to get back to this in an hour or so and let them, well, get back to their happy little selves. Before I do that, I'll pick one more. What am I going to pick? What is this sad one over here? It's ahi lemon drop. You know what? I'm going to do the lemon drop. And I'm going to close that up. Now, kind of looking through the plastic, we can see that the ahi pineapple on the left and the ahi lemon drop on the right, they're both looking really sad. But we're going to come back down here in about an hour and check on them before the end of this video. And I'm betting that they'll look a lot better. And if not, well, there are other plants just dying to take their place, which I suppose is a horrible thing. But it is what it is. So, yeah. Gonna head upstairs for a little bit. We'll come back in an hour and see how those two are doing. Okay, so we're down here. Turns out it's about 2 hours later. And let's just take a look at how the ahi pineapple and the ahi lemon drop are doing. The pineapple looks like it's doing okay, and the lemon drop does not. Alright, that one may end up being a write-off, but if we take a look at the others that I transplanted after I put down the camera, we've got an ahi Peruvian over here. Looks like it's doing just fine. Got a few more in the back here. Seem to be doing okay. So if the only one I lose in this is the lemon drop, that's a bit of a tragedy, but life goes on. I'm not giving up on it yet though. Give it a little more water, a little more time, and well, I guess we'll check back on that in a future video. And I guess that's where I'm going to wrap up today's video. I've got some fresh coffee going upstairs, and I want to go get acquainted with that. It's kind of chilly outside where I just came from, and yeah, I want to warm up. So I will see you guys tomorrow, I guess, because I'm trying to do this 30-30 thing, and I have no idea how well that's going to work out, but I'm trying anyway. So yeah, thanks for sticking around, assuming you are still here at this point, and checking out what I'm doing with these water bottles to try and improve my pepper seedling survival rate. Yeah. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.